Alright, hello Persuasion class, my name is Eric Ruiz and I was assigned Chapter 6, Attitude Measurement. The chapter goes over 3 different types of questionnaires that measure attitudes. They are the Likert scale, Goodman scale, and somatic differential. Today I'm going to focus on the Likert scale mainly because I think most of us are more familiar with this questionnaire and have completed multiple Likert scale questionnaires in the past. So the Likert scale is a questionnaire that features a number of opinionated statements in which a survey taker must read each statement and decide whether they agree or disagree along a numerical scale. And the numerical scale is usually a 5-point or 7-point scale with equal intervals among the categories. And the intervals will indicate if you strongly agree, somewhat agree, neutral, somewhat disagree, and strongly disagree. The Likert scale allows surveyors to understand people's attitudes on certain subjects and situations based on their responses. So the reason I'm pretty confident that most of us have seen or filled out a Likert scale would be because they're widely used by businesses and organizations during the application process. After you've completed your personal and background information on an application, businesses usually add a Likert scale with the hopes that the survey will give them a better idea of the type of person they're thinking about hiring. They can be long and tedious with repetitive questions that are sometimes reworded, ranging from topics dealing with decision making to character and even how you problem solve. They're used mainly in online applications because I feel that since you aren't meeting face to face, these questions are unable to be brought up. So businesses would like to get an idea of the kind of person you are based on this online questionnaire without having to meet you. I personally filled out a Likert scale when applying for a job at a bank, even retail, customer service, food service. But not only are they used in job applications, I've seen them used for like our class evaluations, marketing studies, patient applications at the doctor's office, and even in emails sent from organizations asking for simple feedback. I would say it's the most widely used questionnaire that depicts how people feel about certain situations. Now that I have described my experiences, I would like to make some inferences. Whenever I filled the Likert scale questionnaire, I always disliked how many questions are listed. It always seemed like they were 50 to 100 elementary type statements that would sometimes be reworded and make you feel like you've answered the same question 3 times already. But I think the reason they do this is to see if you're consistent in how you feel about those statements. They may say if a situation arises, will you get a manager involved? Agree, disagree. Then 20 questions later, a similar statement will arise that states, does a manager need to be involved if a situation arises? It's about the same question, just reworded a little differently to make sure the survey taker is paying attention. One downfall, I think, would be that the Likert scale is unable to explain why he or she somewhat disagrees with the statement. So to say the statement listed is that the customer is always right, and you fill out somewhat disagree. Upon first glance, you may think that by filling out that they somewhat disagree with this statement, then it makes them look like they have an attitude or have poor customer service or negative attitude towards customers. But the only reason they have that attitude is because in the past they dealt with a customer who lied and disrespected them in a way that greatly changed his or her perception towards customers. So you're unable to explain yourself in a Likert scale, which can possess you to either lie about the statement to make yourself more appealing, and if you want to tell the truth, then you run the risk of tarnishing your self-image toward employers. Excuse me. In conclusion, the Likert scale is great to use if you'd like to get a general idea of somebody's attitude and beliefs. Just make sure you don't overwhelm them with hundreds of questions in which they blow over carelessly, and make sure your questions are well thought out and worded properly so the survey taker can answer confidently. Lastly, I wouldn't solely base a Likert scale questionnaire to explain a person's attitude 100%. It is a good idea to have a general idea of that person, but I suggest to meet face to face afterward and verbally ask why they have a certain attitude about a certain situation. Well, that's my input on the Likert scale in Chapter 6, Attitude Measurement. Let me know how you feel about this kind of questionnaire, and what do you think is good or bad about it. Thanks for listening. Look forward to reading and seeing y'all's input about attitude measurement. Thank you. Good luck.